Hi-Yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. Indian companion Tonto, the daring and resourceful masked rider of the plains, led the fight for law and order in the early western United States. Nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again. Oh, Silver! That's what we call. Nephew of the Lone Ranger was returning by train after a visit with friends to join the Lone Ranger and Tonto, who were camped near Pecos. Dan had taken a seat near the window just a few minutes before when a middle-aged man with a weather-beaten but pleasant face sat down beside him.
Since I was sitting here before you got on, son, I reckon you don't mind if I sit beside you, do you?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I didn't know this seat was taken. I'll find another.
Oh, sit still. Sit still, son. Fact is, I get kind of lonesome riding on this contraption without somebody to talk to.
Thank you, sir.
My name's Tom Selby. What's yours?
Reed. Dan Reed.
That's a nice name, Danny. You know, I have a boy just about your age named Bob. He likes to ride on a train.
So do I, Mr. Selby. Don't you?
Well, to tell the truth, Danny, this is my first ride on one. I still don't know whether I like it or not. You going very far, son?
Thank you. We'll reach there in half an hour.
I reckon traveling this way does have its advantages at that, Danny. Yep, sure sets the body thinking to be able to just sit here comfortable like and be rushed along from one place to the other without any trouble. Where do you come from, Danny?
I've been in the West since before I can remember.
Well, then you don't have the recollections my boy had of coming away out here in a wagon train. Yeah, I'll never forget that trip, son. Bob was 10 years old then. I reckon he'll never forget it either.
Oh, that must have been fun.
Yeah, more worry and danger than fun, Danny. You see, I was wagon master, and I was told by a certain hombre you'll hear about that it was one of the biggest wagon trains to ever come out this way.
Must have been mighty big.
Oh, it sure was. You see, I owned a lot of wagons back in Kansas City. When the Army made arrangements with me to bring supplies and rifles out here, I decided to bring my wife and boy along and stay in the West. And by the time we reached the Arkansas River, many civilian wagons joined us. 6 troopers came along to sort of escort, but everybody took orders from me.
Weren't you afraid of trouble with Indians?
Well, frankly, I wasn't too sure myself. But the Army notified me that we'd be met this side of the Arkansas River by 2 men who knew the West better than anybody. They'd lead us through the Indian territory.
Oh, and did the 2 scouts meet you there?
Well, they weren't exactly scouts, Dan. One of them was a masked man, and the the other an Indian.
A masked man and an Indian?
Surprised as you are? Well, you just sit tight and listen to all that happened. We've been told ahead of time that one of the men would be masked. So when those two hombres met the wagons, I wasn't surprised. I'm Tom Selby, the wagon master. This is my wife, boy. How do you do? We've been expecting you both. We're mighty glad to meet you, Mr. Mighty glad. I've been watching for you.
I declare, since we crossed that Arkansas River, everybody's been as jumpy as rabbits.
Why?
Well, things have been happening that had no right to happen, to my way of thinking.
Well, accidents are bound to happen to a big wagon train like this. Mary's nervous keeps imagining things, seems to me.
It doesn't seem like imagining to me when the tongues pull out of two wagons, easy as you please, when we were floating them across the river. And one of the wagons caught fire the other night, too. Didn't it, Mama? Now, you keep quiet, Bob. One wagon did catch fire, like you said, though, and two water barrels were found empty without springing any leak.
I see. Of course, those empty water barrels sort of have me stumped, but the other happenings could have been accidents, like I said. But you don't think the loss of the water from the barrels was accidental? And frankly, I don't know what to think about that. Stands to reason nobody with a wagon train would want to cause us trouble. They're all anxious to get out west, safe and sound. Here comes the corporal who's in charge of the troopers we have with us. Two men with him joined us at Springfield.
We've ordered to see why you stopped, Mr. Selby. Hey, a masked man and a redskin.
Oh, it's all right, Corporal. They're the guys we were expecting. I'll explain the masks as we go along.
Selby, you mean to say you're going to trust a masked man?
Yeah.
I don't have it.
Hold on, Dusty. You two through. I know all about this man. He's asked to meet us and guide us west by Colonel Harris himself.
Yeah, that's right. We have orders to do what he says from here on. I'm glad to meet you, mister.
Thanks, Corporal. We'll try to get this wagon train through safely.
My name's Drew, and this is Dusty Weeks. We aren't in the habit of taking orders from a masked hombre, but since we're with this wagon train, I reckon we'll have to.
Yes, Mr. Drew, you'll have to. We're mighty lucky to have you with us.
Thanks, Selby. Now, between here and the Red River is the most hazardous part of our journey. Hostile tribes roam the territory. We'll have to be constantly on guard day and night. We're going to follow the Butterfield mail route to Fort Belknap. I suggest you get the wagon train underway now, Selby. We're losing time. All right. Everybody get to your wagon. Come on. Get out.
So the wagon train got underway once more, Danny. The masked man rode in the lead with me. The Indian Tonto rode at the end of the train.
Golly.
At that time, the Butterfield overland mail route was hardly more than a footpath. The wagon train was putting up with plenty of difficulties. We had to go over rugged mountains and rolling plains, through swampy valley and thick forests. With it all was the blistering heat.
But did anything more happen after you met the masked man and Indian?
Yeah, I'm coming to that, Danny. For the first 3 days, things seemed to go all right. Morning of the fourth day, the wagon train came out of the hills, and a great billowing plain stretched before us. When we broke camp at dawn, the Indian Tonto came up front to talk over our route with the masked man and me. Well, as we came over the last foothill and looked at the plain spread before us, we saw a mass of big, furry crickets. Great day, look off there in the plain to the left. Buffalo. Big herd of them. Looks like hundreds and hundreds. That's right, Selby.
The sight of them frightens me. Will it be safe for us to go across the plains? Oh, God! Look at them all. Will it keep us in there?
No, Bob. I think we can cross safely enough, Mr. Selby. Buffalo are quite far to the left. As long as they're not disturbed, they'll not bother us.
There's a small river to left. Beyond herd.
Yes, I think it's a branch of the Cimarron, Tonto. After we're well past the buffalo herd, we'll swing over there and refill our water barrels.
Good. All right, let's go, man. Keep the wagon moving. All right. A hot breeze blew from behind us, carrying our scent to the herd. And though the buffalo seemed a little more restless than before, they still kept grazing off to our left. Then suddenly Tonto noticed something and called out.
Stop the wagon train quick. Hold the wagon, Selby.
Ho there, ho! Stop
fast the prairie grass is burning.
How in thunder did that start? Getting the flame up strong.
No, it's not good. Buffalo beginning to middle round. If them stampede this way...
Hey, how did that fire get started? Think maybe Indians...
I don't know. But if that buffalo herd stampedes this way, we'll be in trouble.
The flames are getting bigger. Buffalo are milling around wildlife.
Maybe we can turn the wagon.
No time for that. The herd is beginning to stampede in this direction.
Shoot the rifle. Shoot over their heads and put them away.
Oh, that gunfire's not going to turn them.
We'll be killed. We're scared, Mama.
Billy Silver. Quick, Bob. Hand me the kerosene can from your wagon.
Easy, Scout. Easy, fella. What you do, Demon Savvy?
Breeze is blowing from us toward the river. We'll spread the kerosene around and start a backfire. That will swerve the herd away from us, and yet they'll have time to reach the foothills beyond us on the right. Oh, thanks, Bob. Come on, Tonto. I'll spread the kerosene around here.
Herd's coming fast, Demon Savvy.
Use matches. Help me light it. All right, let's get back to our horses. Steady, fella, easy. Steady, Silver.
Make wall in front of wagon train.
Overturn that herd.
They're still coming toward us. They don't turn, we're gone.
I can't do it.
The herd is turning, mister.
They turned aside. The shot fire did it. The man saved the way.
When you were alone, we wouldn't have thought of doing that.
I thought for a minute we were done for. Golly, I could feel the wagon shake when that herd went by.
They were sure thinking, mister.
Oh, thanks. We'll have the men circle the wagon, and we'll pitch camp right here until the ground cools off.
What happened? Yeah, we sort of missed all the excitement, looks like.
Where were you two men?
Dusty and me were sort of trailing along behind the wagon train. When the wagon stopped, we were behind the last wagon, just over the rise back there. Yeah, we waited, thinking the wagons would move on in a few minutes. Then we heard all the excitement up here and got to the top of the rise in time to see the backfire starting and to see the herd stampede by. Yeah, it looked like a close shave.
Yes, it was. You're circling the wagon, Selby. Tonto and I are going to ride along the trail. There's something I want to investigate. I want to get him up.
If he hadn't been there to think of starting that backfire, why, the herd would have stampeded right into the wagon train.
Yeah, they would have, son. Well, later, the masked man told me exactly what happened when he and the Indians circled off to the left until they approached the place along the river where the Indian Tonto had first noticed the smoke. He said the ground was still smoldering. Any tracks they might hope to find were gone.
That fire started along about here, Tonto.
You think maybe someone started fire on purpose, Kimasabi?
That's what I'd hoped to find out.
It's not easy finding tracks after fire burn along here.
Yes, I know. Oh, wait a minute. Both of them.
Open a hole. Maybe stop here. Easy better be close.
Look there, Tonto. Half submerged in the water near the riverbank.
We see it.
I have it.
It's kerosene pan, like wagons carry.
Yes. Someone used kerosene to start that fire here. Someone from our wagon train.
Oh, quick. The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger adventure. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments.
companion, Tom Selby, was telling Dan about the first big wagon train he had bought through the Indian Territory with the help of a masked man and Indian. After a fire starting near the river had stampeded a buffalo herd, the Lone Ranger and Tonto had gone to investigate. They had noticed a kerosene can half submerged in the water near the riverbank. Wading in a few steps, the Lone Ranger had picked it from the water. As he did so, rifle shots rang out, and the two men hastily crouched down and fired their guns. Silence followed for a moment. Then Tonto spoke.
Happy, you all right? Yes, Tonto. Keep your eyes open and guns ready. We'll get to the trees along the bank. See anyone, Tonto?
No. Him use rifle. Him have chance get way over rise back there.
Come on. We'll ride to the top of the rise and trail whoever shot at us. It'll be easy, Scout, easy, fella. Come on, come up the town. Look out, old fella. Big fellow. Easy now. Look, they're topping the next rise, Tonto. I think it's the fellow Drew.
But we're not sure.
We'll follow him into the wagon camp. Come on, come up the town.
Well, the masked man and Tonto followed the other rider back to the wagon train, which was already drawn into a large circle. The men were unhitching the horses. At the time, they didn't say anything about what happened or about seeing Drew, since they wanted to get more proof against him first. But it seems that a short time later, Tonto came to the masked man and took him to one side.
Yes.
We have something to tell you.
Oh, what is it?
On me look round. He know this horse the feller Drew. Well, lather dried on coat of horse. He see burnt grass stuck on hoof.
I've been suspicious of him and his friend Dusty Weeks. From now on, we'll watch them closely without them knowing it.
Me watch them.
We can't accuse them of anything without positive proof. But sooner or later, they'll show their hands.
Well, from then on, Danny, the masked man and Tonto watched Drew and Dusty. But they didn't do anything to cause further suspicion.
Didn't you ever find out if they were the ones who were causing all the trouble?
I'm getting to that, son. After about a week, we finally made our way through to the plains that led to the Red River.
Golly, it must have been rough going.
Yep, sure was, Danny. Tonto and the masked man were always watching out for hostile Indians. While scouting ahead, Tonto did come on Indian signs from time to time. But one afternoon, as we approached the Red River, that fella Drew and Dusty Weeks rode up beside the masked man and me at the head of the wagon train. Right away, they began a very friendly conversation.
Well, you sure did a good job of getting the wagon train this far, mister. Thanks, Drew. The going will be easier after we cross the Red River.
We'll sure be thankful for that.
I suppose you're fixing to cross the river down at the Big Bend. It's broad and shallow there. How do you know that? I met an outfit in Kansas City, a Pony Express rider. He told us that was the best place to cross. I see.
That is the place you figure on crossing, isn't it?
It's the logical place.
How far do you reckon it is from here? About 10 miles, maybe?
Just about. That was pretty good guessing, Drew.
I figure at the rate we're going, we ought to reach there by sundown.
I hope so.
That means they can all rest tonight and make the crossing fresh in the morning.
That's right.
Tell you what,
Yes?
Dust and I'll ride on ahead to the Big Bend and look things over. You know, make sure there's no quicksand or anything like that.
That's a good idea. There are hostile Indians in this territory.
Oh, we'll be careful. Let's go, Dusty.
Right.
Get up. Come on, get up. You know, those two have become right friendly lately. Seem more willing to help, too.
So I've noticed. I'm going back to talk to Tonto. Just keep straight ahead, Selby. I won't do this.
I found out the masked man went back to tell Tonto to trail Drew and Dusty. Then he came back to join me at the head of the wagon train. We continued on till we reached the bank of the Red River. But once there, the masked man gave orders to halt the wagon.
We'll stop the wagons here, Selby.
I thought we were going to push on to that big bend down the river.
That's what I told Drew and Dusty.
That's right. We hope to make it by sundown. We better go on. You said it was a logical crossing place.
Yes, I know I did.
by me.
Here comes Tonto. You tell us what we want to know.
Oh, fella. Oh, Kimasabi. Two Navajo. Them not take trail that lead to Big Bend. What, they said they were going to...
Wait a minute. Go on, Tonto.
Me follow them. Then go to top a small hill down river a ways. Then make smoke signal to Indians.
I thought they were up to something.
Then make smoke talk. Tell Indians wagons cross river. Big Bend in morning. Tell them to attack.
Sure, Tonto?
Sure.
By that dirty traitors? I've suspected them of causing the trouble you've had, Selby. I'm certain they started that prairie fire to stampede the buffalo.
But why should they do such things to us?
We may find the answer to that later.
Yes, but what are we going to do?
We cross the Red River right here.
Those wagons loaded with rifles are so heavy we'll never get them across deep water, mister.
We'll distribute the rifles among all the wagons, Corporal. It'll be tough going, but we'll have to try it. Once we're across, we'll form the wagons in a semicircle at the base of that cliff over there. Then we'll be in a good position to ward off the Indian attack when it comes in the morning.
Then you think they'll attack anyway.
Yeah, now that they know we carry rifles. They'd have massacred all of us if we'd gone on to the Big Bend. I suggest we get busy now and lighten those rifle wagons. Then we'll tackle the job of crossing the river.
What happened after that, Mr. Selby? Did you get the wagon train across all right?
Son, you have no idea what a big job it is to get a large wagon train across the river. But finally we did manage to get them all across. Then we moved down to the base of the cliff the masked man pointed out.
You must have been glad to get safely across.
Sure was, son.
What else happened?
We arranged the wagons in a semicircle at the base of the cliff. Took turns standing guard through the night. Following the masked man's instructions, Tonto had slipped away and headed for Fort Sherman about 10 miles down the Butterfield Trail. The next morning, after dawn, we saw two riders coming like fury along the trail on our side of the river. Hey, look there. Two riders coming fast. Hey, that's like Drew and Dusty Weeks. Look, there come four redskins not far behind us. The Indians are two arrows at them.
Those Indians mean business.
The redskins have turned back. No stop scared of them. They were going to scalp us. Yeah, there are hundreds of them around the bend in the trail coming to attack.
Corporal, I suggest you put these men under guard. Or better yet, hide them in one of the wagons until later.
What for? We came to warn you.
You were plotting with those Indians against us. They turned against you, and we changed our plans.
Come on, Portman, you get moving.
I suggest you get every man to his post, Selby. Have them watch for flaming arrows on the wagon.
All right, keep your places, man. Redskins are attacking.
I want to help.
Keep guns loaded, Mr. Selby. That'll help.
All right, I'm scared. But I'll help Mom.
Good boy, Bob. Keep down behind the wagon. Here they come.
Then they came. Hundreds of them, Danny. They showered arrows on us like rain. Though some of them had rifles. For some time, the savages rode back and forth, moving closer as they rode by. Time and again, flaming arrows landed on the wagon top.
It must have been awful.
Oh, it was. For most of us, it was the first time we faced savage Indians. The masked man had to help us fight our fear as well as to fight the redskins. I reckon we're done for. We can't hold out.
Don't be fools, men. Keep on fighting. Look at Mrs. Selby and Bob. Will you men let a woman and boy show you courage?
No. No, we'll show them the dirty bastards.
That's the way. Keep it up.
By Jiminy, son, that masked man seemed to be everywhere at once. He didn't seem to think of the outcome as he went from group to group and kept them battling the frenzied redskins who were determined to have our scalps.
Golly.
Yep, many of the men were wounded. Our ammunition was getting low. But then I heard one of the most welcome sounds I could think of. A bugle. I heard a bugle.
There's Tonto bringing the men from Fort Sherman.
Oh, I can imagine how you all felt when you saw those troopers, Mr. Selby.
The men cheered themselves hoarse, Danny. They forgot how exhausted they were when they saw those troopers get after the savages.
They didn't get there any too soon, did they?
That's right, son. But after the battle, the masked man and Tonto persuaded the Indian chief to talk to save his own neck. They found out Drew and Dusty were paid agents of a Mexican rebel chief on the border, who had sent them to keep the army
Army rifles.
Bye, Mr. Selby. Thanks for telling me that story.
It was all true, Danny. There is a masked man like I told you about. Maybe someday you'll be lucky enough to meet him and know him like I did.
Oh, I know that was true. I'd better hurry. Perhaps if you watch from the window, I'll be able to wave to you. My friends are meeting me with my horse. Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, son. Good luck.
Mister, I overheard the tale you told that boy. You sure know how to make 'em up. Especially all that about a masked man and an Indian.
Oh, it was true, every word of it.
Well, boy seems to believe it anyway.
Yeah? Hey, there goes the boy now. Into the grove across from the station.
Huh. Wonder why his friends don't meet him right at the station like other folks do.
Well, I don't know, but... Look there.
Holy mackerel. The boy's riding through a grove with a masked man and an Indian, and they're all waving at you. Look.
Great thing. I never thought for a minute that boy knew the Lone Ranger.
You've been listening to the OTR Gold Network. Find more classic radio at otrgold.com.